Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you guys for this special event for the Leadership Inner Circle Meet Our Community, where we talk to members that are growing or who are developed with the aspirations, the hope, the beliefs to take their careers, to take your career to the next level. And I created this special event for one of the first members that were actually in this club, this group that we have. He has been a mentor, a leader, a coach, a trainer, a marketer, all just to me. So I know how much he's inspired everybody else. And I wanted to show you guys who has been pushing me along since November, who has been taking Michael Laidler Unlimited to the next level. The goal for tonight is ask questions, comment, like, share, because as part of any great marketing, that's what we do. We like, comment, and share, and we boost each other up. You guys are going to hear us talking, joking, laughing, all that good stuff. Now, when you see Adam, you're going to realize he has more smiles than me. So I hope you're ready for that. There's two guys with a lot of energy that's going to be on this tonight. I will stop talking, and I will go ahead and bring him in for the sake of all of our excitement. Hey, Adam, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great, Michael. I'm glad to be on today.
Great. Now, I don't want this to be all about me. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. So quickly, or as long as you need to, tell people a little bit about who Adam Flores is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Southern California, and I originally started in direct sales. And after really having a lot of success doing that, utilizing online marketing strategies, then I said, wow, if I can do this and, have success promoting someone else's product, I wonder what I could do if I started creating my own product. And so that's exactly what I did. I went off to venture on my own, but it wasn't as easy as I thought. It was probably the hardest thing I ever did. But it was so worth it, and fast forward to today, I've been able to, speak all around the country, have master classes, inner circles, live events, and run two companies. So that's a summary in short.
So you're a younger guy, and some people don't always believe that you can grow as quickly as you can. But there's a certain element that people like you have. And I think it's an element based on a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it's called persistence. How have you applied persistence to the life of Adam Flores?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really believe that we ought to do something that we can compound our efforts in over and over and over again. That's how things are great, right? And I see this pattern where people will start something and they will do it because it looks simple, or they got excited about it and they got a vision for it. And then it gets to this place where it starts to mature and get a little bit harder, and then it gets really hard. And right in that really hard area is where people typically will look or find something else that either comes across their newsfeed or that comes through a friend, and the opportunity looks simpler, it looks easier, it looks more attractive, and it's easy to just jump ship and shift focus and start doing so many other things. And what I've really been good at is, even when it's really hard, pressing through and building one thing and building that one thing really well. And from compounding my efforts, I've really been able to build something amazing and have an amazing team behind me. And that wouldn't be possible without persistence. So I am a big believer in it. It's, one of the things I think is underrated, and it's so important to compound what we do every day.
And so I've been reading your profile a lot the last couple of days in preparation for this. I've been reading your page, your company page, and something I noticed is that you have done a lot of training already. How has that training been beneficial to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So training is very important. In fact, I do a lot of not just training, but also R&D, which is research and development, right? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you can only go as far as a lot of times the knowledge that you have. And so I know that the things that I'm unaware of, and they say ignorance is bliss. Well, not when it comes to business, because what you're unaware of you can't step into that realm or step into that strategy or implement. So I really invest heavy on training, and it's very important. And in fact, one of the things I also teach my team, I have an awesome team. I say, your appointments are like your bullets, right? When you go into a war, if you don't have bullets, you're dead, right? And so you got to keep your appointments stacked with meetings, because if you run out, your business is dead, right? And so really training and conditioning ourselves to constantly have meetings and appointments lined up constantly. And so that's, one of the things that keep a business healthy. But at the end of the day, your training shows up. And so I'm a big believer in it, 100%.
Now, when you think about all these appointments that you have now, keeping your calendar full, there is a point in your business building where you felt a level of defeat and you weren't seeing the results that you wanted. How were you able to overcome that sense of defeat and use it as a stepping stone to push yourself further?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, like, for example, like we have a branding agency, right? And it's an amazing process. It's transformational for our clients. But in the beginning, my brand was a headache to build. Like, I would go to the photographer, things wouldn't work out. I'd go to the designer, wouldn't work out. I'd go to the web developer, things wouldn't work out. And like, if one piece came back great, the other piece wasn't great. And so like just the process of building out like something simple like a site, right? Or something simple like wasn't working. And so I through that failure, that's I love that. No, if you need to take care, go ahead. I'm a big believer in having family around. So yeah, I think, just going through that failing process is how we actually came up with our Dream Factory. And now, I've decided to bring all those tools and resources in one place, for our clients now. And so through that failure, we were able to build our actual company. So I think my favorite quote is, with every seed of adversity comes with it a seed of equal or greater opportunity. And so, I love the challenge because I know that there's an opportunity somewhere inside of it,
And when you talk about the Dream Factory, like, how did you come up with something like that? Like, what made Adam think of, the Dream Factory is something that entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, whatever word they love to use, what made you believe that was going to be transformational for your clients?
Yeah. So one of the things that like you'll notice too is like as you're growing the company, you'll start to notice a constant need that's a pattern with your audience or with your clients. And so I was doing a lot of social media coaching early on. And during that process, I was doing a lot of the coaching, but they didn't have, for example, their brand in place. They didn't have a consistent message. They didn't have a lot of these things. And so a lot of the strategies were great, but they didn't work for people because those elements weren't in place. And so in order to get them this result, we had to get them, this solution. And so we started to just stack all of the solutions to make a complete formula for someone to get results in their business. And so that's how it formulated as the one place to grow your business online. It didn't start that way, but over time it just stacked, and that's how it was created.
So when someone comes up to you, let's say someone was watching this live webinar or they watched a recorded version, whether it's through YouTube or one of our pages, if they said, Adam, take me from the ground up to where I want to be, what is your advice? What would you recommend for them?
Yeah, well, of course, there's two sides to look at this. There's the mindset philosophy, which says that in order to be successful, you got to work on your mindset. And then there's the strategy philosophy that says you just have to know what to do, right? And so it depends on where somebody is. If somebody isn't in the right mindset, they need to take care of that. Meaning like they're still not sure if they can do anything. They don't trust in their abilities yet. Those kinds of things. You got to work on those, that element. Now, once you get past that, you graduate, like, your why, what you have a vision, what your mission and purpose is. Like you build that foundation, then it gets into strategy. And that's really what I specialize in is strategy. And I talk about this thing called a smart business. And a smart business is being able to build a scalable, mission-driven business that's automated with revenue streams run by a team. And that's always the goal. We want to be able to get as automated as possible, scalable but small that we can have run by a team. And so in that, I love it.
Oh, this needs to charge. Go watch TV. I know.
That's the reality now. It's like we get to work at, home, wherever, bring the kids to the office. That's great. So within the smart business strategy, or within the smart business formula, there's 5 key pillars that I teach on. And so if somebody wants to go from the ground up, these are the areas they need to focus in as a business to be healthy. Number 1 is there needs to be a proven process for lead generation. That's the first step. So you can have the best product in the world. If you're not excited about if you don't have a consistent flow of leads, you're dead. The business stops right there. So we got to fix that problem immediately if it's an issue. So lead generation's first. Second is a sales process. So how are you going to make the sale? Are you going to sell it through a webinar, kind of like a Skype presentation like this? Are you going to sell it by Zoom call or phone? Are you going to sell it in person at a live event or workshop? What's your sales process, right? On how you're going to deliver that. Then it goes into the fulfillment process. And this is how you're going to deliver what it is you're selling. Okay. And so what most people do in their fulfillment process is, like, say, for example, we use coaching as an example, right? They're doing one-to-one coaching all the time. Well, if you're doing one-to-one coaching all the time, you can't really scale because your business can only grow based off of the amount of clients that you can handle. So what we have to think from the beginning is we have to think, okay, how can I systematize and I love that. How can I systematize what I do? It's so simple. Yeah, how can I make it so to pass it on, right? So how can I make that simple to pass? And so that's the fulfillment process. And then the fourth process is follow-up. Most people don't build a database. So every month they start over again, right? So how can we nurture that database so that you actually prepare customers for the future, not just for today? And so we don't think about that a lot of times. We're just thinking about how can I get more leads? But the follow-up is huge because they've already been exposed to you, right? So now it's just a matter about staying in touch until the timing is right. And then it goes to the 5th step, which is, people development, which is team, right? Kind of what you specialize in, leadership, where you're building out a team and you're having somebody replace you in all of those areas, the leads, the sales, the fulfillment, so that you can now have the business operate by itself, and then you're able to focus on the fun things like speaking, partnerships, interviews, or anything else that you want to do for fun. So that's the concept of those 5 pillars. So if they're starting from scratch, being able to have those 5 key areas down, that's what we want to get to.
So they come up to you, you walk them as a coach, trainer, a mentor. You take them through all of these levels in order for them to create this brand that is worldwide. That it's internationally known.
Yeah, so when most people think brand, they think website. So what we really specialize in doing is creating scalable business models and then building it all for them so they can focus on their message. So there's 3 types of learning. There's the learning that says, hey, just give me the tools, let me figure it out myself. So for that, we provide online education and tools that they can watch videos on that will teach them themselves. The other type of person is the person that says, I need a coach or I want a mentor to walk me through step by step. And that's more of that personalized, back and forth coaching, right? Where they're holding accountable, you're able to grow, get discoveries, things like that. That's that person. Then there's the person that says, just do it for me. I don't want to manage it. And so we have tools and resources for all 3 of those categories. But the idea is to build out a model that will allow them to generate leads, make sales in a model that they don't have to slow down and that they can keep reaching clients. And that's called our smart business formula.
And that's something that's designed from whether you're in the business by yourself, you have 5 team members, 10 team members. The way that smart business model goes is that you can use as many people as needed to make it work.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I'm going to do something really cool. Actually, I wasn't planning on doing this, but let me grab it.
Go ahead.
For those who are on today, what I want to do is I actually have my Smart Business Journal. I actually went over this in my latest mastermind. And in it, there's a page in there that is divided into 3 categories. And it talks about what the $50,000 a year employee does, what the $100,000 a year solopreneur does, and then what a smart business owner does, somebody who makes, over $100K in a month or, build that $1 million business. So it has the activities listed to where to spend your time, right? So if you know where to spend your time as an entrepreneur, then you can plan the business to scale, right? So like, for example, when you're a solopreneur, when you're by yourself, you think, okay, what can I do to generate a lead, right? What can I do to generate a lead? But when you're an entrepreneur, it's who can I get to generate a lead for me? That makes sense? That's a big shift. How can I make a sale versus how can I get someone else to make a sale, right? How can I create a landing page versus how can I create an evergreen lead campaign that can run 24/7 without me, right? So there's a big difference in the internal game as well to really build a business the right way. So for anyone who's on today, if you just comment below, put Smart Business, and I'll send you guys the PDF to this list, and it'll be really helpful so you can know where to spend your time to build a lucrative business.
And if anybody wondering why I'm looking now, because I'm typing Smart Business into my browser itself. So I definitely recommend that. And when you guys look at some of this stuff, kind of like Adam's saying, it depends on where you're at in your business and how much you want to do. If you just want to do everything on your own, you can do that. He provides the tools. If you need some assistance, he's there. He can help you. But if you want someone to help with everything, he can do that as well. And all of this is found where, Adam?
Yeah, it's found at dreamfactoryco.com. So dreamfactoryco.com. And that's our program. It's called the Dream Factory Company. And it's not just me. I'm able to do all those things because of the power of our team. I have a team even behind me. I don't know if you can see them somewhere, but they're working because, I'm only a one-man guy, and I just have an amazing team, and that's why I'm able to build all of this stuff.
And one of the things so you take your persistence from when you were younger, you had your roadblocks, you opened your business only a few years ago. What year did you open it up? The Business Club Academy, for all of those that...
That was open in 2013. So we're at about 5 years now. Yeah. So about 5 years. And the first year was horrible, though. I mean, we made like $12,000. I was charging like $300 a month in coaching. I mean, it was awful. Mm-hmm. I created a course with 50 videos all summer. And when you make that course, you think, oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. Nobody bought the course. So I was literally like thinking about like, why am I doing this? Like, this is like poverty level, like income. And so I got a coach with the last $2,000 that I had. And that was the best decision I made. I ended up getting a guy from Australia, and he says, Adam, he's like, why don't we create a group coaching program? Instead of, coaching $300 a month, he's like, let's teach everything bring in experts, and we'll charge $2K per student. And, you can teach Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I was like, well, I don't know LinkedIn. He says, well, then you can bring in experts to train on LinkedIn who do know LinkedIn and bring those resources to your community. And that was a whole mind shift in itself, the fact that I didn't have to be the guy for everything. So that's what we did, and we called it the Business Club Academy, which was a group coaching program originally. And that online community began to grow. Students started coming in from all around the world. And they were asking, Adam, how are we going to get a chance to meet you? We're learning from you online, but how can I meet you face to face? So we ended up holding our first live event. 150 people showed up. And although it was great, we lost money on the event because I had no idea how to sell from stage and make it profitable. So that led to me finding coaches in that. And, fast forward today, the last 4 years, we haven't done less than 6 figures in a weekend from our live events. And that goes back to the power of coaching and training, like you mentioned, because when you understand strategies and proven processes, it eliminates your gap to minimize the risk. right? And so when I got just those couple of coaches in live events, then that gave me a proven process to go into. So it eliminated that risk factor by probably, I don't know how to quantify that. But it's changed the game, right? So just that over the 4 years, if you compound that, I already know if we have a live event, we're going to do 6 figures before the event starts. So it's like, it's awesome to go through that process with a coach and mentor because you get the best practices. So it's funny because we didn't even offer that as a service, teaching people how to launch live events. But just because so many people saw it happen again and again, people have been asking us, Adam, how do you do this? How do you do that? So just recently we opened up even a program on that just because of the demand for people wanting to know how to do them successfully. So you learn along the way. And as you're going, your antennas are up as an entrepreneur, ready to shift at all times to go where the market is needed, to go where people need help. And originally I made an audio program called Developing the Leader Within You. And I sold 0 copies of that program too, so it was like, I've had my fair share of like products that just didn't do well. And then you start realizing what to create based off of the needs of people. And when you create what people need, it's so much easier to sell. People come knocking on your door. And so I think we have to give ourselves permission sometimes to know when to quit and shift into a different product. And then once you get into your lane where your gifts are moving, your knowledge is moving, clients are giving great feedback, then you stay persistent in compounding those efforts.
Adam, I think you said something that really, I was going to stop you, but you were on the roll, so I didn't want to slow you down at all. Something you said is creating products that people need, not things that you need or products that you want people to have, but what they need. And then going from there and giving them what they need based on their feedback, and obviously them paying you for it. One thing that really stood out is that you said you have failed. You made multiple programs that didn't work, but that didn't stop you. You didn't look at that as a reason to say, you know what, I'm never going to do this business again. Rather, you took that and said, okay, what can I do as Adam Flores? What can I say? What can I create now? Where now you have your coaching, you have your mastermind trainings, you have your live events, all things that bring multiple streams of revenue in. And it's not like you're just doing one thing by yourself. You have a team of people there with you. And I think that that's something that a lot of us, especially newer entrepreneurs, people that are kind of getting into the business now, we fail to see who else we can use around us. We fail to realize that in this business of self-development, essentially what we offer, it's not just about one of us giving it. It's about the team, and everybody has their role. Not everybody's going to be the one speaking on stage. Not everyone's going to be the one-on-one coaching. There's going to be people that just do marketing.
Right.
There's going to be people that just do sales. But that's how you form your team, because in the end, like you, Adam, you're the leader, you're the CEO, you're the founder of the Business Club Academy. So your vision is your vision, and then you bring people along to enhance those areas that need the enhancement.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the team aspect, I was having a conversation, so after the mastermind I just had with our clients, I had a couple extra days with just our team. And what was really special about it is we were coming together and I was saying, hey guys, individually, I was like, you guys can all build something, whatever you want to build, you can build it. I was like, but the power is when we can put our egos aside and we can compound our gifts to build something amazing. Mm-hmm. Because now we have a bunch of destinies coming together. And I said, if you look at any great companies, whether it's SpaceX, they build rockets, or Tesla, build amazing cars, what it is it's a bunch of people's destinies coming together under one mission, going towards one direction. And that's what our company's about, is we're bringing our gifts together. Like, I'm not a creative, like I'm not the tech guy, right? But I have amazing tech resources. I'm not the designer, video guy, but I have somebody who's, loves that, right? I'm not a project manager, but I have a teammate who loves managing the accounts and making sure the clients are taken care of. So it's like you bring a bunch of people's gifts and destinies together and you create something amazing. And so I can't even take credit for what has been built, because although I may have facilitated all of the moving pieces and had the vision and all of these things, it's made up of amazing teammates. And so I think collaboration is something that's so overlooked because everyone is so ego driven. Like, how can I build my thing? How can I create my brand? And it's not even about building your brand. Maybe at first, because you haven't, you have some ideas you want to get out, but eventually it's about collaborating, bringing team together and letting team operate.
And the one thing that I think where you've been a little humble in this one, Adam, is as the leader, you have to have a vision. Mm-hmm. You have to have the vision of where you want to go. And for all of those who are watching live, something you got to think about is Adam's not saying he's Tony Robbins. He's not saying he's John Maxwell. He's not saying he's Les Brown. He's saying I'm Adam Flores. This is what's working for me. This is how I've been successful. And I can show you this if you ask. I can show you that it is scalable to do. And that's what I want people to really think about when they think about that training with Adam, working with them. Because a lot of times it's easier to, obviously, sorry guys, he decided to come and make his guest appearance, my loving son. But when you guys are thinking about how to grow, that's something to really be mindful of, is that as a leader, you still have to have that vision to take yourself to that next level. Daddy. And I think that's one of the biggest things that you talk about, Adam, is you have to have that mindset to take it there. Because without that mindset, you're not going to be able to achieve any goal you want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. 100%. And that's why, there's different levels to the mindset, right? And so, love that. See, I love that. See, that's really quick too.
You can wait. There you go.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Go.
That's something. So really creating. So we're talking about just mindset, but one of the things that there's a mindset of our team. So
life of a 5-year-old.
There you go. Love it. There you go. All right. So one of the things, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're great.
I was saying, like, one of the things is creating a culture of love, right? And that's really key. As far as the mindset of our team, we really want to bring, I think that's what business is also missing, is a high EQ, because there's like emotional intelligence too, right? So there's mindset, but then there's also EQ, which is emotional intelligence. And I think that business is also missing out on the element of being able to creating a loving environment, a loving atmosphere. It's so results driven. It's so productivity driven. And one of the things that I realize is that when you have an atmosphere of love and generosity and giving, and you're not just so stiff inside of your boundaries, what it does is it creates an atmosphere where people feel inspired to work. Clients can feel that you actually care about their results. You create so many win-win scenarios. You feel good about showing up. You have more endurance. Very, very few teams are able to create an atmosphere and culture of love and still get things done. And we've really been able to foster that. And that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of, is the fact that every day, we show up to work. There's just such a loving environment. With our clients, there's just tons of love. You come to our inner circle masterminds, you're going to feel tons of love, but we bring strategy. We bring the heat. We bring the best, and so it's like our clients are making revenue too. And so it's a mixture, a healthy balance between business strategy and mindset and EQ, right? And bringing all those two together, you really get magic. And so I do recommend, for people listening to not just study the mindset piece, but also really understand what, what's the spiritual aspect too that you're bringing in. And like, that's a big part of our culture as well, is this the spiritual part. Because, like, for example, someone said, is making money spiritual? And I just actually released a post on it today. Is making money spiritual? Well, the answer is no, it's not spiritual unless it is, right? It's not spiritual unless it is. And so think about that. Like, for me, it's a very spiritual part of our DNA makeup as a company, because every day I wake up and I'm asking God, okay, where should I spend my time? Who should be involved in this company? Who, where, what's my purpose in all of this? What is the destiny? And so every action that I take is tied into my purpose. And so how could building out my company not be a spiritual journey? I don't understand how that can't be, because it's tied in my purpose, unless I was just making money for the heck of it, right? So I think being able to also, infuse mindset, purpose and spiritual, your spiritual journey, emotional intelligence and strategy. And I think you put all those together and you get this amazing baby that's born, and your company culture is just, it's amazing. And so our company is not just, amazing at what we do, but we're a home as well. And I think that's what is amazing. So are there any questions at all by the chance? I haven't even had a chance to see if we have any questions or if we have time for Q&A.
All right, so we'll go ahead and open up some questions. Some of the things I've seen, I'll post it on here. Stacy mentioned earlier, I'll pop it up on the screen. She loved the quote that you gave earlier about adversity and opportunity.
Awesome. Okay.
She really enjoyed that one. Just, can you give that quote one more time for maybe someone that just started to view in?
Yeah. So it's, with every adversity comes with it a seed of equal or greater opportunity. With every adversity comes with it a seed of equal or greater opportunity.
So you guys heard that one. Just because you have adversity doesn't mean that's it. That just means you have another chance to do even more.
Yes, that's right.
Let me see if there's some more comments. Another comment I see on here where you talked about the scaling. Lorraine said, from the beginning, how can I create a system that scales? Meaning, you know what I mean? You kind of take that. You're not just taking your business and just saying, okay, it's just me. This is all I'm doing. Adam, you talked earlier about how you will take that person and show them that you can multiply what they do. Mm-hmm. So can you explain that a little bit more, just on how to make that, how you help people scale?
Yeah, definitely. So I like the quote, actually question here. It was from, let's see here. It was from Lorraine Villarreal. Yes. She's on here. She said, from the beginning, think, how can I create a system that scales? I like that. So it's from the beginning, exactly what she said. So if you're intentional, people think that you have to, plan to build one brick at a time. And although that's true, there's certain activities that if you're aware of, you can actually position your business to go all the way to 6 figures in a month, or 7-figure, hit that first 7 figures, right? And so what it is they're scalable activities. For example, if you're going networking and relying on referrals, if that's what you do for your business is going to be only where you can be. Like, you can only be in so many places. You shake hands, kiss babies. It's very difficult to scale, right? But what is a scalable activity, for example, is, you train somebody to get sales for you, right? So I'm very honored and humbled to have 40 sales reps on our team. They're constantly selling our services and what we do. And so that's leverage. That number can go to 50 sales, 100 sales reps, right? So that's a different mindset. One of the things I had to deal with, my mentor taught me, says, Adam, you need to duplicate your sales. I'm like, who in the world could sell what I'm selling? There's no way I could train somebody to sell for me. That was a crazy idea, right? Yeah. How could I do that? That doesn't make sense. Like, who would actually sell my stuff? But what I realized is that when I put together a process and a formula for them and said, hey, this is how we do it. And I went through a couple guys. The first guy I had to fire, he didn't do well. And the next guy brought on didn't do well. But the third guy brought on got a few sales. And I said, it's possible. And that's all you need. Once you get that possibility, then boom, it opens up the lid, because you know it can be done, right? So in my inner circle masterminds, that's some of the things that we talk about, is some of this inner work of, like, getting past yourself, thinking no one can replace me, no one can sell for me, and being able to move past that. Another question too is, what was the main challenge in growing your team? You want me to answer that, Michael?
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Answer that one. That works for me.
And I'll answer Perry's question after. So the challenge in growing team is in the beginning you have no resources. That's the hard part. But it's also the easy part. So I'll give you an example. When we first started our team, I had no money to pay anybody. All I had were online courses that I had purchased. So what I would do is I'd say, okay, guys, this is the vision. This is where we're going. Let's build it. And, if we all do well, we make revenue, we can now, have enough revenue to split between all of us, right? So you can create a paid position. Doesn't mean they always get equity.
This is the life of a 5-year-old.
There you go.
Go ahead.
So the thing is that, you come up with creative, we pay them with online courses. We would pay them with, we get food, free food, things like.
We like food. Everybody likes food.
Exactly. Yeah. Free pizza. So you collaborate because sometimes people, there's certain, see, the limiting thought sometimes is like, no one would want to join me. I haven't built anything yet. Right. But the reality is no, there's a lot of people out there who want to grow with you. They want to be a part of something along the journey. Right. But we don't think about that. We think no one would want to yet because I don't have enough money to pay them or I haven't built anything yet. No, people want to collaborate and help you grow. Right. So what I found is very interesting is that the loyalty in the beginning was so strong because it wasn't that measured by the money you can pay them. It was because they really wanted to be there. Then as the company starts to make money, it gets into this awkward phase because now you have to start paying people. But what you can pay them is not enough. You give somebody $10 an hour. Now they're like, I can go get a job over here making more. So it's almost easier to build a team when you're starting because everyone knows it's a startup. Where it gets awkward is when the company starts to make money, people also want to start getting paid for their work, but you can't really pay them what they're worth. And that's where you're going to go through a lot of turnover because you're not in that place yet where you can really afford to keep the talent that you need, right? And so at that point, you have to get creative. You have to structure creative roles. You have to find people who are in it for the right heart, that have the same heart as you, the people that are going to be in it long term. And you have to be okay with people quitting because you have to be able to, give yourself permission to allow room for the right people to come in. So we've gone through 3 or 4 teams to get the team we have today. And you have to give yourself that permission to build and get creative. And everyone's complex. Fast forward to today.
Yes, deal.
So one of the things, like one of our teammates. So one of the things that you know when it comes to every time again I lost my thought here.
Oh, I thought you were saying the 5-year-old kid running around that's full of energy.
Yeah, no. What was I talking about right now? It was about teams.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So one of our teammates now, we've now been in a position to now like get her full, like, she has like salary and benefits, car, all stuff, right? So it's like we didn't even have that when we started, right? But she's like 4.8 GPA, graduated from prestigious university, like we were able to bring on like cool talent like that on. But when we started, it was like internships, A great resource is internships.com. You can find great people there to start out with. That's what we did. So, Lorraine, hopefully that helps answer that question. Now, Perry says, how were you feeling when you were thinking when you were down to your last 2K? I was in a survival mode, and that sometimes is the best place to be because you're not comfortable, and you have to make it work. And when you have to make it work, you get creative. So a lot of the strategies that we teach in our academy today came out of those situations of survival where we had to make things work. And in that, we were able to figure out creative ways to bring clients on that a lot of people are unaware of. And so a lot of our strategies are original because of that. So when you're down to your last dollar or you're down to your last 2 cents or whatever, that's the place where you get creative. And when you get creative, solutions, find a way to you. And it's just it's interesting how that works. Thank you, Lorraine. She says, I'm hearing you say that your vision was so clear it survived the initial challenges, and you seem to have attached the people who are aligned to your vision. Yeah, so in the beginning, it's really fun because you have this vision that you have. It's this grand vision, right? Like, we're gonna go big, we're gonna take it to the top, and it's all fun. And eventually, that team starts to realize, okay, there's a big gap between where we are and where that vision is. And it can sometimes die out sometimes when you're saying the same thing over and over again. So what I found is that although vision is great, it's also good to tell the team that there's a chance that it may not work out as well. You have to be able to say, hey, look, this may not work out, guys. Like, I have no guarantees here. Depending on what work you put in, that's what's going to make this thing go. And we're going to have to be able to put our ego aside, put the gratification aside, and realize this is going to be work. And so I had to mature in my leadership and have hard conversations because it was all vision at first. And although vision may get the team excited, it's not the glue. That's the key. You got to be able to have a balance between vision and optimism versus letting them know, hey, look, there's a chance this may not work, and have them be okay with that.
And I think, Adam, with that, that's just you being real. That's you being straightforward, being mature with them, and letting them know that that's what you need. Because a lot of times people will go with all this charisma and not warn the team that there's a chance that things may not work out.
Right, exactly. That's
and
right.
One thing I meant to touch on before my son came running in, about when you talked about building teams and you talked about maybe you may not be able to pay them right out the gate, but you can still coach them. You can coach them to get them where you are. You can help take them to that level. Maybe they're just at their beginning phase of their entrepreneurship. And you say, you know what? You come on my team, I can help coach you. I can help you develop your own programs. I can help you take what you need to the next level. I may not be able to pay you with money, but I could pay you with my time.
Yep, exactly. Because you have more time there. And, it's not even just the time. You don't have money. But one thing you do have is you can encourage them and hold them accountable to learn. The growth is what keeps the team in the beginning. So, for example, when we're bringing on our intern, we always, the one rule that one of my mentors taught me, he says, Adam, you always have to keep your team learning. And I said, what do you mean? He says, they always have to have something to do all the time. And so you always have to have the next step for them, like until they become independent to find their own steps. I'm like, hey, if I'm bringing on an ads person, and say, okay, you're going to eat, breathe, and sleep ads. Here's a book. You read this. Here's a strategy. Learn this. Because I know that if they don't get great, the chances of them succeeding in anything is not going to be well. But they're not going to fail my watch. They need to get talented. They need to get good at what they're doing. And so as they get better, they get results. They start realizing, wow, I can do this. And that's another way to build strength within your team as well, is getting their confidence high.
And guys, if you're looking for lead generation, I can tell you from firsthand experience working with the Business Club Academy, and I'll tell you my numbers because I don't want Adam to say it because then it seems like he's selling, so to speak. So I'm going to say it on my end. Back in November, when I opened my business a few months before that, my LinkedIn was at 70 people. All kidding aside. Now, working with the Business Club Academy, I'm at 14,000. Back in April, my Instagram was at 125. I brought in the Business Club Academy. Now it's at 2,500. And now also with my Facebook, I brought them in April. I went from 800 people to almost 2,000. So it's a formula that works because I can tell you from my own social proof, it comes from it. One thing I will tell you is that Adam will challenge you and he will push you. And I think that comes from his vision, his ability to be persistent and what he aims for. And I think that it speaks highly of someone that's his age, because a lot of times people don't really think that they can do it. They have a lot of self-limiting beliefs that, you know what, I'm not old enough to be successful. I'm not old enough to build a business on my own. I'm not old enough to do this or do that. But Adam has allowed his ability to believe in himself to now reflect on the people around him, his team, which are now impacting hundreds of people, if not thousands. So all these are real things that you can do. I mean, Adam opened his business up in 2013, and he said he made 12,000. How many of us go through that right now, where we're not making much money? We're saying, I don't know, man. I really got into this coaching and training business. I thought I was going to be a millionaire the first year, but I'm only spending money. Adam was in that boat, and even when he talked about where he said that he got down to this last $2,000, you don't think he was nervous? You don't think he was scared? I mean, we all have gone through it. It's just a matter of what we do when we get there.
And also, too, I think a lot of people have total mismanaged expectations that throw them off. Like, people think that, you can become a millionaire in a couple of years. Now, that can't happen, but, the average millionaire takes 12 years. And people don't know that. That statistic's not shared often. And so you think about it, like, people are coming across ads that say, learn how I made $1.2 million with my online business. Well, they don't know that person's been doing it for 5 years or 7 years or 10 years. And they also don't know that person may have spent $900,000 to make that $1 million that they made. So really they're making $100,000 a year. So when it comes to, hearing numbers out there and marketers that tell you all this money you can make, when you really pull back the curtain, the one thing that you'll find is profitable businesses, really true profitable businesses take time. And you can't shortcut the process, although you can still get rich, what I call, you get rich quick. You don't have to necessarily get rich slow, but it's not even about either one. It's about running your journey, right? And continuously staying in the process and building brick by brick by brick. And I say brick because we want to build a strong foundation. And one of the sayings is that most people will try and climb the ladder up to success. But if you stay a little bit lower longer, building a helicopter, once it's finished, you can fly higher faster, right? And so rather than just trying to climb the ladder up, stay a little bit lower longer and build out everything the right way. Instead of trying to rush your way through things, build things strong. And when you build things right, they can last you. And when they last, the compound effect can take over. And that's really where the income starts to grow.
So we have one more question, and then we're going to close out for the night. I know we've given so many golden nuggets that you all need to be watching this once every day for the next 14 days just to hear how to scale your business. Even if you don't ever see Adam again, he's giving you great concepts just to live by. So I'm going to post up the last question for the night, and now it's from Perry, which says, Adam, what was one of your biggest aha moments in your business?
Biggest aha moments. I think, honestly, one of the biggest aha moments was one I had at my last mastermind. When I see people that are more excited for what we're building than sometimes I am. Like, it was like, wow, like the fact that someone could be more into building this company that you started than you are sometimes. It's amazing. Like, so it broke a lot of internal things like, man, you hear these things. No one will be as excited as you are. You hear these things, you're going to be, if you're going to do it, if it's up to me, if it's going to be, it's up to me. You hear these things like, you're going to have to lead the way. And I mean, although there's some elements of truth to it, what I really got to see from my team, this last week is how it's possible to put egos aside and to collaborate in gifts and talent and visions and to build something great. And if you are really leading with the right heart, you're leading your business with love, with integrity, you're leading it the right way, your team will go to bat for you. And that's exactly what's, the reason our business has been able to grow and scale the way it has is because I have an amazing team that goes to bat. And that's it. Like, I mean, if you would have told me I would be where I am today 5 years ago, there's just, I couldn't even believe or imagine it. I mean, look, I'm in like my dream office, like speaking all around, international speaking engagements, running masterminds, live events, have courses, inner circles, online training programs, best-selling book, like all these things. Like I never could have imagined I would be here, but it's the power of team. And that's huge. It's huge. That's my biggest aha, is that people can actually be more excited about your dream than you, but you first have to start it.
So you guys heard it. If you have a dream, you're at some point you're going to find the right group of people that are going to push you as much as you want to push them. And with that right push, you will see those results that you always wanted. But you have to stay persistent. You can't give up when you're down to your last $2,000. You can't say, you know what, life is tough. You have to say, you know what, I'm going to roll my sleeves up, like you roll your sleeves up, and I'm just going to dig deep into my passion and go from there. And then you will see the fruits. You will see that harvest come to light over time. You're not going to be a millionaire overnight. The statistic, Adam gave 12 years. So all these 10,000 ads in 30 minutes, or I'll make you $1 million in 6 months. Let's be realistic. That's one of those selling techniques that we don't condone, nor do we promote. We say you do hard work, you stick with the plan, you stick with the strategies, and you will see the success that you're looking for. So in the final few words, Adam, what is a piece of advice that you can give to those entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that are trying to scale their business to where you're at today?
Yeah, so I think there's two pathways. You just have to know yourself. Either you're going to be the kind of person that knocks your head against the door 1,000,000 times to get your breakthrough, and you're okay with all that trial and error, or you're the kind of person that says, you know what, I'm going to get to the person who has the right strategies, and I'm going to, be efficient with my time. I know it's going to be a little bit more to invest. I know it's going to take a little bit more of, resources to learn, but I want to take that route. And so I think knowing who you are you going to be the kind of person to pound your head to get there, or are you going to, want to take more of the smarter way, which is getting mentors and people to lead you, or imitate to innovate, as I like to call it, right? So you see what's working and you change it to make it your own. So know who you are and take that path, and don't look back. I mean, all it takes is one strategy, one idea that can completely shift everything. And I think people underestimate the power of one powerful idea. Like, just for example, we'll close out, with one strategy that's really made an impact for me. Shout out to one of my friends, Frank. He taught me LinkedIn, right? He taught me LinkedIn, and from LinkedIn, we were able to grow our company by over 50%. And we're not, just a small company. We have a pretty, good sized client base. And so we're able to grow our company by over 50%. Our sales team was able to grow to 40 reps. Our sales team was able to have a lead generation system to stay busy, to maintain a team at 40 reps, all because of one LinkedIn lead strategy. We were able to fill live events, not just for me, but for our clients, through one lead generation strategy. One lead generation strategy from my friend Frank changed my life. One. So when I look at investing into strategies, I'm looking for the next one, and not all the time it works. But if it does work, you're onto something, because at the end, it's all about people. If you can get to people and deliver your product or service, you're going to win every time. And that's key. And so I think some people are afraid to invest, or they don't know, they don't have the right mentors, and it's hard to win, doing everything on your own. So know who you are. If you're going to beat your head against the wall, go do it. You'll figure it out, or, go, find a mentor and get there through other people's strategies. And that's what I'm going to leave them with. Perfect.
Well, I hope you guys had enough energy to keep up with both me and Adam, and my 5-year-old at times. We enjoy all the comments, the likes, the shares. I know by the end of the night, when I get a chance to review some of the other stuff that's been going on in this video, I know I will take a lot from it. I will watch it again myself. Adam did offer a great product for you guys, where he talked about putting smart business into the comments, and that was for the booklet that he talked about for the activities that people do if they make $1,000. for the people that make $100,000 or people that make $1 million. And all those activities are designed to grow you. And you have to invest in yourself. I mean, guys, all kidding aside, I don't tell you how much to invest in yourself. I just say, if you have to do something to find that strategy that's going to work for you as the individual. Adam has talked about it for the last 55 minutes of, you have to invest in yourself one way or the other. You're going to invest time or money. Time or money. A lot of times that money is going to equal time, but you have to do something. You can't do it by yourself. Without a team, you're going to always be making 50, 60 grand a year.
That's right.
If without a team, you get a team and you see where that growth comes from. I mean, Adam went from him and probably 2 or 3 other people in 2013 to over 40 sales reps. We're just talking about sales rep. We're not talking about the marketing team. We're not talking about the other parts of the team, the project managers, the other support teams. We're just talking about the sales reps. So if you're thinking about how to scale your business, this is a way to do it. The Business Club Academy, the Dream Factory, Adam Imon Flores. That's all the things you can look at in order to make yourself better. So we thank you all. We enjoyed it. We had a great time. We had a lot of great questions. And I just look forward to seeing each of you on the next Meet Our Community in the Leadership Inner Circle. Y'all have a great night.